Hello friends, it is Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm late again. Guys, guys, I did the same thing I did last week. I didn't hit the go live button. Crazy. That's 6 minutes now. I've been just rambling on to myself. I gotta cut that. I gotta nip that in the bud. I've been going almost a year with live streams, never had that issue. And now twice. I've done it twice in 2 weeks back to back. Absolute madness. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Uh, Love to see the chat so active. Super Dave, Nomad King Gamer, Diana Sailor. Everybody's here talking amongst yourselves. I love to see you guys just in here talking, by yourselves. I love to see the community we got going. A lot of good folks in here, a lot of people with similar interests, trying to hit the road, trying to convert vehicles, and it's a beautiful thing. Give me 1 second. So we got a little inception going on again today. We got the webcam, we got the live from the box truck cam. I like to switch it up and kind of just show you guys, help you guys feel like you're here with me, living in a rig, show you what it's like. This is my biggest argument for getting a box truck. It's just so big, it's so roomy. There's so many room for activities. It's a wonderful space. And so hopefully the double view isn't too distracting for you guys, but we're going to be clicking over to some websites in a little bit, so you won't have to look at the double screenshots for too long. Super Dave in the chat, big channel supporter. I appreciate you, Super Dave. Thanks for coming through. I hope the slide out rack is moving along swimmingly for you. We got Diana Sailor here, the #1 supporter since day one. Diana's been here supporting me from Missouri, and hope the bus is coming along well, Diana. Appreciate you. Super Dave, 82 and no wind. That sounds miserable. I hope it cools down for you, buddy. Sounds very, very hot. The no wind thing is a real killer. If you got a little breeze, it's not too bad, but no wind as a deal breaker. We got Charles Serratos in the chat. Happy to see you, Charles. Charles is in Michigan. It's probably cooling down quite a bit. I've been meaning to get up to the Great Lakes. I've never been, but it looks so beautiful. One day I will make it to the Great Lakes, and I will visit Michigan and all those beaches up there. It looks beautiful. AJ Scoggins in the chat from Lake Havasu. Hello, sir. Happy to see you. I see AJ says he's laying out a solar rack for the roof. I saw on Facebook AJ mentioned he's doing like 2,800 watts or something. He's doing a big boy system. AJ is going to have all the power. If you guys come out to Schoolie Palooza this winter, come to the box truck roundup that we're going to have. AJ is going to be there. And if you need any power, I bet AJ will help you out because he's going to have way more than he needs. 2,700 watts on the roof. I love it. I always recommend to people, put as much solar as you can on the roof. You can never have too much energy. And if you get a couple gray days at Schoolie Palooza, when I was there last year, we had a couple, like 2 or 3 overcast, cloudy days where we did not get a lot of sun. And I was rationing energy by like the 3rd day. And so just because my battery bank isn't that big. So it's always nice to have a ton of solar. Always. Maria, hello. Happy to see you. Happy to have you here. King Gamer got upgraded to an admin. So King Gamer is going to be here checking the vibes. So make sure you're on your best behavior. Mind your P's and Q's. If you get fresh, King Gamer is going to ban you, give you the hammer. I gave him that power, and I trust King Gamer with all of his discernment. He's going to keep the chat running smoothly. Polymath is in the chat. Hello, Polymath. Happy to see you. Charlie Pepin, happy to see you. Welcome, welcome, everybody. It's a busy, busy live stream. I see Jay Stewart's in the chat. Hello, Jay. Happy to have you here. Jay Stewart is the first customer from our website, nomadics.biz. He purchased this item right here. This is a solar disconnect breaker. It's got easy MC4 connectors. You can plug one end into your solar panels, plug the other end into an extension cable into your charge controller. I make all the stuff here for you guys by hand, and it's super easy for you guys to build your own electrical system without having to cut, strip, crimp wires. You just plug it together, drill it into the wall, and you're ready to go. So I'll be dropping that in the mail for Jay tomorrow. And really appreciate the support, brother. I know you've been watching the videos for a long time. You've been commenting for a long time. Every little dollar helps. And hopefully this is just one step towards your nomadic freedom. Revo Runner in the chat. Let's go. John C. Ear infection? Left work early? Check. Antibiotic? Check. Chorizo dinner? Check, check, check. John C. Sorry to hear you're having ear infection, but on the bright side, you got to leave work early. I know when I was sick, when I was working like a regular 9 to 5, I enjoyed sick days because you got to just stay home. You know, you watch Price is Right, maybe some Judge Judy, eat some chicken noodle soup, and, you know, just kind of have a nice day off. Brian M says, your place is so tight, you can't go wrong in my eyes. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. Chris B in the chat. Hey, Brad, what dual cameras do you use for your stream? That's a good question. Right now, I'm using, everything's powered by Apple. I'm using just the camera built into my MacBook Pro. And over there, I'm using my iPhone 15. That's it. It's all Apple products, baby. It works good. I use DJI Pocket 3 for all of my regular videos, my vlog videos. If you watch my regular vlogs, the footage is pretty good. This thing does really well. It's on a gimbal, which is nice. So like when you move it or you're walking around, the footage is very smooth. And what's really nice about this is it has a 1-inch sensor. So it works really well in low light situations. So this is the best camera I have. It looks really good. This thing was like, I don't know, $600, but the quality you get out of this is comparable to like a $2,000 professional Sony mirrorless camera. So you can't go wrong with a DJI Pocket 3. It's a really good camera. I love it. Diana S. Diana S. asked, what's for supper? That's a good question to ask, Diana. I'm glad you asked that. So I'm actually in the process today of filming my video for Sunday. And so I'll give you guys a sneak peek of the video and dinner. In the Instant Pot right here, I just put together a roast. I bought a beef roast from Fry's grocery store yesterday. I chopped up some carrots and some sweet potatoes and some onion. And then I added in this seasoning packet that I have been traveling around with since I lived in Texas, like over a year ago. And so I dumped it all in. And the cool thing about the Instant Pot is you can do a whole roast in 60 minutes. So versus like, you know, a slow cooker or a crock pot, you got to cook that roast for like 8 hours. But the Instant Pot does it in only 1 hour. And I did sear the meat first on my, in a pan on my induction cooktop. But let's take a look at it and you tell me what you think. I'm going to go grab the camera. Hold on. Take a look at this roast. I think we did pretty good. So that's for dinner. The roast, it smells delicious. I took the lid off and instantly the whole place just filled up. Let me turn the camera off now so you guys don't get dizzy. The whole place just filled up with delicious roast fragrance. I love it. Rick, oh, Desert Runner Rick is here. Coming to you from my black truck. There you go. Desert Runner Rick in the chat. Hello, friend. Happy to see you. Jay Stewart says, great startup to the website. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. I just added new products tonight. It's going to be a few weeks until everything's dialed in, but when it's done, it's going to be beautiful. Donald Frazier, southwest coast of Washington State, 1 hour past tornado warning. Dang, they having a tornado warning in Washington State? That's crazy. That's crazy. I grew up in Oregon. We had tornado warnings a couple times. I remember one time, I grew up on a farm. One time I was home just with my mom. I think my dad was working, and a tornado came, and kind of this. The tornado funnel didn't pass by the house, but the whole sky turned like black. And I remember vividly, it was not just black; it had like a green tint to it. Like the whole sky was black with a green tint, and my mom was pretty freaked out. So we went down and like we had like a crawl space under the house, so we went down there with some water and waited. Nothing happened, but it was very ominous. When you go outside when there's a tornado close, it's very quiet. There's no animals making noise. The birds are silent. Like all you hear is just silence and wind. It was pretty crazy. Dre says, I installed my diesel heater, used your missing instructions video. Happy to hear it. I hope that helped. I think the diesel heater instructions have gotten better over the years, but back when I installed mine, they were terrible, and that's why I made that video. And I know it helped a lot of people, so I'm happy that you guys will have a better shot at installing a heater than I did, because I struggled to figure out all the little details. Brian M with super chat. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. Brian says, what are your box dimensions before the build? So that's a tricky question before the build. So I know the width of the box is about 7.5 feet. I want to say a little over 7.5. The length of the floor is 12 feet. The length of the ceiling is 14 feet. The ceiling height was like maybe 7'3", because now it's 7'1" in here, and that's with probably an inch of flooring and insulation, and then 2 inches of roof insulation and paneling. So about 7.5 wide, 7 tall, 12 long on the floor, 14 long on the ceiling. And somebody asked me this box truck. I call it a 12-foot box because the floor is 12 feet. Some people call it a 14-foot box because the roof is 14. U-Haul calls it a 15-foot super mover. So it's hard to nail down exactly what this thing is, but I like it. It's a good size. If you want something that's easy to drive and parks anywhere, this is the rig to get. If you go up one size to the 7, let's see. I lost the chat. Let me hop in and see if we're still live. Okay. All right. We're good. I'm back. I lost the chat, so I couldn't see if you guys were still with me or not. My Nomad internet just like rebooted. I don't know what's going on. So now I have no chat on my computer, but I got chat on the iPhone. Thank goodness for technology. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I remember what I was talking about. Someone was asking about the power on the Instant Pot. Nomad turned him off. The one free year is over. John C. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, did they cut me off? Is this my 1 year mark? What I was gonna say is the Instant Pot's 700 watts, but it doesn't pull that the whole time. It only pulls the 700 watts when it's warming up. Once it's warmed up, then it just kind of modulates. It's on and off, but it's pretty efficient because I used this exact same Instant Pot. I've had it for almost 7 years. When I had my very first van conversion, I only had 200 watts of solar and a single 200 amp hour AGM battery. And I still use this Instant Pot to cook and make soup, and I boiled water in it for coffee. So it's a super efficient item. Since we're talking about internet really quick, I'll share something with you guys. So I have been using Nomad for almost a year now. I'm super straightforward with everybody. They gave me a free 1 year trial in exchange for for testing out the equipment and making a video on my YouTube. They didn't pay me or anything, but they gave me a free year of service. I've been super happy with it. It's worked great. You know, occasionally there's hiccups, but that's all technology. Anything you have, you know, it crashes, it freezes. Sometimes the internet doesn't work. It just happens. But overall, I've been super happy with Nomad. That being said, my year comes to an end in, I think, January maybe. And they never, like, since I made that first video for them, they never reached out to me. There was no communication. They didn't say anything. So I've just been like, wondering what I'm going to do when it expires. I was thinking about getting Starlink, but this company, the universe provides, this company reached out to me literally 2 days ago, called Connect 10. And I spoke directly with like one of the guys from the company. It's a newer company, but he's super nice. They have really good reviews. And so they're going to send me one of these routers to test out. And so I will let you guys know how it works. It's a similar deal. They're going to give me a free year of service, and I'll just tell you guys how it works. And so what's cool about this one, here's what I like about these guys. Is there any pictures of the equipment? Here's what I like about these guys versus Nomad Internet is their lowest data plan is 69 bucks a month, and you get 100 gigs. Which, and by the way, this isn't me selling you stuff. This is just sharing information about internet. So for me, I use the internet a lot. I upload one big YouTube video every week, and I do a live stream every week, plus regular surfing and internet watching. And on average, I use about 100 gigabytes a month. So for most people that are just casual internet users, this 100 gigabyte plan is going to be plenty. And it's only 69 bucks a month. And the router is pretty affordable. I think it's only like 100 bucks for the equipment versus the Nomad internet router is like 600 bucks. So the equipment's cheap, the service is cheap, and here's another benefit about these guys. One thing I like about their router is that it has antennas. It looks like it has antennas on it, external antennas. So I think it might actually bring in even a stronger signal than the Nomad. So it kind of looks like this. It has the little antennas on top. So it might even be a stronger internet signal. And oh, one thing I like about these guys is so their service, it works with any cell phone carrier. So you can do AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. Internally, it switches based on like what the best internet strength is. And I think that's really cool because my Nomad internet only runs on the Verizon network and my iPhone is AT&T. So sometimes I'll actually get better speeds on my cell phone, and that's just because the AT&T network is stronger in the area I happen to be at. So being able to get an online, regular internet service that can cycle between all the different carriers, I think is a really big advantage. And then also on Connect 10, they do have an unlimited plan. If you don't want the 100 gig plan, they have an unlimited plan, and it's like 100 bucks a month. Yeah, 99 bucks a month for unlimited. So they got options. I'll let you guys know how it works, but you're always asking about internet. I think this is potentially a pretty good solution. Rich Gates. Yes, ask your question again. Sorry, buddy. Internet dropped out, but I will get back to you here. Let's see. Rich Gates. Hey, Brad. Have you ever seen a pass-through on a box truck as tall as a typical van? Yes. Good question. Yeah, so here's the thing. You can cut out as big of a pass-through as you want. I'm trying to think who... I just saw one, but you can cut out the whole dang thing. Let's see. Let me go back to the chat. Okay, hold on. Let me think here really quick. Here we go, right like this. Oops. No, that's not quite. They got a window in there. I don't see a picture of the one I'm thinking of. I saw one online the other day. It might have been like on a box truck Facebook group, but they cut out the whole opening. So you can make it as big as you want. The thing is, you just have to make sure you seal between the box and the cab. But basically, what you do is you get the accordion boot, which is that flexible rubber, the same stuff I used. And then instead of having a door and the rubber goes between the door and the cab, you would just get that accordion boot and you would put it like around the whole opening of the rig. And in fact, well, you would still need accordion boot because it flexes and moves. So here's the thing with the box truck, the box and cab move separately because it's two separate components. So when you're driving, they shift quite a bit. So you have to have the flexible accordion boot so that you maintain an air watertight seal, but then also it can still flex and move. So you'll have to get the boot still, but yeah, you can open that hole up as large as you want. The reason, and I understand being a big guy, you want to just crawl through that door. That small door I have is kind of a pain in the butt, and that's why I don't use it that often, because I prefer to just step out the driver's door, walk around, and then step in the rear entry door because it's full sized. But but I really just have that pass through as like an emergency thing. I really don't mind going around outside. But one thing I will say is the thing I like about having a separate cab and living space is it's quiet in the cab. Because I lived in a shuttle bus that was wide open, and then I had an Econoline cargo van that was wide open. And so when you're driving down the road, you hear everything like creaking and rattling and bumping, and it can be pretty noisy. But like, noisy to this fact that like you can't really take a phone call sometimes, you can't hear the music that well. But when I hop in the cab here, it's silent. I mean, there's road noise, but it's like I can take a phone call, I can listen to music. I'm unaware of everything that's going on back in the living space. So I will just tell you that's one thing to consider. Obviously, ease of access and comfort needs to be priority, but that's just something that I was aware of as I appreciate how quiet it is by still having that wall. Chris B. Yeah, Chris B, if you're thinking about the 15 or the 17, I would recommend the 17. That's the same size that Suron Dave has. I hang out with him quite a bit, and you get like 2 extra feet of floor space and, 2 extra feet or three of ceiling space. So I think the 17 foot, if you're cool with something a little bit longer, I think the 17 foot would be a better choice. You can do a toilet shower combo if you want, and you just got more room. And the reality is between driving this truck or driving the 17 foot, it's going to drive the same. It's the same engine, same transmission. You're just getting a couple extra feet of living space. I think it's a good idea. All right, let me hop back on the chat, see what else I missed while Nomad glitched out on me. We'll see how Connect One does. Maybe it's a better service. Okay. Rich Gates, I think that answers your question. Yeah, 6'10", you're a big guy. Um, in fact, you know what I thought about Rich Gates? What you could do if you really want to get crazy. If you really want to get crazy, look at this. Okay. You could do this. Let's see. Can you see that? Hold on. Let me make it so you guys can see this. Let's go over here. Let's go here. Okay, if you look at this, this is a Chevy G-Wagon, but you can do the same thing on an Econoline. So I have seen people that do, this is called a nose cone. So you can buy these pre-made for your vehicle. It's a big fiberglass hollow shell, and it's designed to basically as a wind deflector to help with fuel economy. but I have seen people that cut out the roof space above your head. So you cut out the back wall, cut out the roof space, and then you can actually stand up. Well, you're 6'10". You can't fully stand, but you could basically stand hunched over and then almost step right into the back. So that would give you even more ease of access than just cutting the back wall open. Now, if you have the cab over U-Haul, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to figure out some kind of an intermediary piece, but you could cut into the grandma's attic part and then make some kind of a flashing and just have that whole space be open. And then it would be even easier for you to pass through. So that's something to think about if you really want to get crazy. Here's another image. This is actually an Econoline with a nose cone on it. So you can see that fiberglass shell there. And then it's more like a transit high roof or a ProMaster high roof. Right after the windshield, it goes up really tall. And so you can kind of stand up in there. So that's something else to think about. You might consider one of those. Hold on. Let me hop back in the chat. Things are getting crazy. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, let's cruise through. John C., in the wise words of Bon Jovi, we'll be there for you. I appreciate you guys. If I drop out, I'll always come back. I won't forget about you. I won't just disappear on you. Eric says he's got an Instant Pot just like this. John C., T-Mobile has unlimited for $50. That might be something to check into. Got Reaction says, where are you parked? No view. So it's 7 o'clock here in Arizona, and so it's already dark by the time I do the live streams because I'm keeping them at 6 p.m. Pacific. I want it to be, at the same time every week so you guys know when it starts. And so West Coast hit daylight savings time, so it's 7 o'clock. It's actually 7:40 right now for me, so it's already dark. There's nothing to see, and I am parked. I'm in San Luis because I'm going to be getting my van registered tomorrow as a RV, and so I came down early to stay the night, and where I'm parked at, it's just super dark outside. Nothing to see, guys. I'm sorry. I wish I could have showed you a beautiful sunset. Chris B says, I get worried about parking spaces with a 17, but if it's a similar drive, then that helps. Thanks as always. Yeah, Chris B, it drives the same as to my I think the wheelbase is the same. I think the only difference is it's a little bit longer. So I'll show you an example. If you get the 17 foot, as long as you can hang your butt over a curb, then you'll be able to park it no problem. And I'll show you an example. So, okay. So I know you guys probably can't see that photo really well. That's as much as the computer will let me zoom in. But this is me looking through my window at Sir on Dave's box truck. So that's the 17 foot. And he's in a regular parking space. He's backed up. His nose is not over the white side parking lines. And his butt is just hanging over the curb and also the grass. So if you have a 17 foot, if you can back up in a situation that allows you to hang your butt over the curb, then you can still fit in a regular parking space. So like shopping centers, parks like this, it'll be pretty easy to do. And it just depends what kind of travel you're going to do. If you're going to spend a lot of time in cities, like if you're really going to be in cities a lot, you might consider the smaller footprint, like the one I have. I can park pretty much anywhere. There are some places I can go that you couldn't park the 17 foot. So it's all about trade-offs, buddy. Rhymes with Orange in the chat. Hello, sir. Happy to have you. I met with Rhymes with Orange at a parking lot. in San Diego. He saw the rig and came up and said hello. Very nice person. He's a tour bus driver. Happy to see you here, brother. Journey with Nicole in the chat. Hello. Happy to see you, Nicole. I'm curious where you're at. Are you in at your property in Arizona? Are you traveling? What's going on? Chris B says, I guess the nose cone helps with MPG. Absolutely helps you a little bit with fuel economy. And depending what vehicle you get, some of them have the nose cone already. I've seen them for sale online on Facebook Marketplace with nose cones. Slugworth is asking about on the new build, did you decide on a location for the fridge? I have not decided on a location for the fridge. So I did that 3D rendering a couple weeks ago on the live stream, and that really helped me kind of make some plans. And I have mentally some plans now. I've been shifting things around in my head, thinking about layout, and so I'm not quite sure. I think it's one of those things where I have so much going on right now that I'm not too focused on the exact details of the build out. But as soon as I get some things out of the way, the nomadics.biz website, once that's up and running, and I have a couple other things off my plate. Once I'm done with this van, getting it prepped for sale, then I'll have more free time, and then I will focus my energy back to the next build out because it's happening. I got a hold of a battery supplier. If you guys have heard of Epoch Batteries, they are going to sponsor my batteries for the next build. So I have 10,000 watt hours of self-heating lithium that is going to be coming to me very shortly, and that will be going in the build. That's twice the battery bank I have now. I currently have about 5,200 amp hours, and so very excited to double my battery bank. The solar on the roof of my new box truck will also be almost double what I have now, so I'm going to have way more power, and I'm going to be much more prepared for overcast days or snowy days or whatever, or also just using more energy. I'm going to go over here in a minute for you guys about registering my vehicle just to let you know my experience, and then that might help you guys out. John C., my butt can hang over a curb. John C. got back. There you go. John C. doesn't even need a box truck to hang over the curb. Ellie Jesse says, have you talked about CDL licenses and what size is needed to drive one of those? Yeah, as far as CDLs go, did I just freeze up again? No, I'm good. I just had a panic attack. As far as CDLs go, it's weight based. It's like 26,000 pounds. Okay, so to need a CDL to drive a vehicle, it has to have a gross vehicle weight rating of 26,000 pounds or more. So this vehicle has a gross weight rating of 12,000 pounds. So I don't need a CDL. Any bigger, I mean, you're talking full on semi truck to require a CDL. There's also some provisions with like if you're pulling a big trailer, I think, towing heavy equipment, you might need a CDL. But basically, even the big ass box trucks, you do not need a CDL. And if you have a motorhome, you don't need a CDL. Like everyone that's got these big 40-foot, 43-foot Class C motorhomes or Class A motorhomes do not require a CDL. So if you bought a box truck, even if you bought a box truck that requires a CDL, if you convert it to a motorhome, it should not require a CDL to drive. So that's something to think about. Let's see. Okay, let's hop back in the chat. Got reactions. Yeah, you could use the nose cone to hide your mini split, but you would have to cut, like it couldn't be sealed. You'd have to cut the sides off of it because you have to have airflow for that outdoor unit. So you could modify a nose cone absolutely to hide a mini split. Chris B, yeah, that photo I shared, that is Suron Dave's box truck, not to be confused with Super Dave. So Suron Dave has the 17-foot U-Haul. Rhymes with orange. Did I purchase a new rig? Not yet. Rhymes with orange. I am waiting to sell my rig first. So this rig, I was intending to have it for sale already, but I've just been really, really busy. So I've been making some progress on projects to get this thing for sale. I'm hoping in the next week or two it'll be complete and posted for sale. Hopefully by December. Gives me 2 weeks. There's not much left. I just have a couple little interior things I need to clean up, hide some wires, a little touch-up painting, nothing major, and then I will list it for sale. And then I think it's going to sell pretty fast. I'm going to make a really cool for sale video for my YouTube channel, and I think it's going to sell pretty quickly. I was looking at Vanlife Vanlife Trader, which is like the main place that people go to post their vehicles for sale. And I was just kind of shopping around at what's available. And if you set, so I'm going to sell mine for 45,000. That's it. That's the price. If it doesn't sell for 45, I ain't going to sell it. I think it's worth that. So I'll show you guys though, if you look at like what's for sale for 45,000, let's go like 30,000 minimum to cut out all the junk. Come on, baby. Why is it not doing this? Hold on. I don't know. It's not working. Don't worry about it. So like here's a van for 41,000. This ProMaster. I actually saw this. I know this guy. I saw him at Tiny Fest San Diego. But like this thing's 41,000. Has 115,000 miles. You know, if you look at the photos, I mean, it's just a really basic build. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's like, you know, it's just your basic ProMaster conversion. He's got a little bench table set up, wood ceiling, you know, but it's like that's 41,000. Like if someone's going to spend 41,000 for that, why would they not spend 45,000 for a tiny home on wheels with air conditioning and unlimited energy, you know? So I was just browsing and I'm like, there's really not that much for sale. I really think that this will sell pretty quickly. And so my hope is that it does sell fast and then I will start a new build out this winter. And I think too, by making a YouTube video tour, I think it's going to reach a lot of people. Here's a 2014 ProMaster for 45,000 exactly. ProMaster. So this is nice. It does have a shower. Mine does not have an indoor shower. I know for a lot of people that's going to be a deal breaker, but like look how small this is. That, I mean, that's your only living space. You have a tiny hallway between the kitchen counter and the shower and then a little double bench. Like that's it. That's all you got. The bed's tight. You know, you got like a cabinet thing over the foot of your bed. I mean, for somebody that just wants a small vehicle that's like just doing like weekend trips and stuff, that's going to be fine. But that's not something to like really live in full time, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spoiled. But anyway, the market's looking pretty good. I mean, in general, prices are not what they used to be, but I feel like there's just so many. There's not a lot at this price point. It's all the good builds are still 60K plus. Like all the nice ProMasters, Transits, Sprinters, all the nice stuff is going to be $20,000 more than my rig. This guy's got an AC on the roof, but you can't run it off. There's no solar for it, so you're going to have to plug in to use the AC. I don't know. It doesn't look that good. I think my rig's going to sell pretty fast. That's my opinion, but I'm a little biased. What do I know? So to answer your question, I haven't bought a new rig yet, but as soon as this sells, I will buy a new rig. There's also a possibility that I might just buy a new rig and start a build without selling this one. A small possibility, depending on finances. But I'm seeing I'm getting some money saved up, and I'm seeing a lot of vehicles sell for really really cheap. Like I'm seeing Isuzu NPRs for $7,000. I saw another box the other day for $5,000. So there's a possibility I just buy a new truck. The challenge is I won't have as much money to start the build out, but we'll see what happens. The universe will decide. Smash the like for me, please, my friends. Help us blast off this live stream to other folks. Let them know the content is good. Let them know they want to come check out the situation. Got Reaction says, as long as there is sun, can you leave the thermostat on 24/7? Yeah, absolutely. So what I did, I mean, it's really pretty rare that I need air conditioning unless I'm like in the city and it's over 90 degrees. Because even when I was in San Diego, when it's 90 degrees out, I open a window and I open my screen door and I just let a breeze flow through. And I prefer to have a nice little breeze. But when I went into the city to El Cajon to do a solar job, it was like 100 degrees. There's no breeze. It was hot. And so I run the mini split. And all I do is I leave it on 24/7. Like when I'm running the AC, I just leave, it has the little remote control. I just leave it on. I set my desired temperature, and then it just turns on and off as needed to maintain, just like a house thermostat does. So you're not having to turn it off, turn it on. And the mini split is so quiet that half the time you don't even notice if it's running. It's just a nice, quiet, very slight hum from the indoor fan. So yeah, a ductless mini split is an absolute game changer when it comes to air conditioning. Charlie Pepin, your 5200 watts runs your AC. Absolutely. Yeah. So this 5200 watt hours of battery, this is what I had in Texas when I ran my air conditioning 24/7. And so the whole reason this works is because I have a lot of solar. Because I have 1200 watts of solar, my air conditioner on high only pulls 800 watts. So that means even when it's hot out and my AC is running full blast, I still have 400 extra watts of solar coming in to keep the batteries charged, run the refrigerator, run the cooktop. So as long as I'm not doing super energy intensive stuff during the day, which when I was in Texas, I was totally fine. My solar would keep my AC running all day, keep my batteries fully topped off until the sun went down. And then in the evening, I didn't do any intensive battery stuff. I didn't do any like heavy duty cooking, but the batteries would keep the AC going all night into the morning. So yeah, believe it or not, 5200 watt hours does run my AC. But like I said, I was conservative. I didn't do a lot of energy intensive stuff. I didn't have a television. I wasn't, up all night watching a TV, playing video games, cooking big meals. I would recommend in general for most folks, if you're going to do a mini split, I would recommend a larger battery bank. I think 5200 watt hours is a bare minimum. I would like to see, 8,000 to 10,000, I think is a better number to have a comfortable amount of energy. Charles Serratos, DC to DC charger would help. It would help as long as you're driving. So, like for example, Victron's biggest DC charger, they have a 50 amp unit now. That puts out about 700 watts, which would be equivalent to 1 hour of my air conditioner running. So if I drove for an hour, I would only get 1 hour of air conditioning runtime. So a DC to, when you talk about big electrical usage, the DC to DC charger doesn't really help out that much. It's good for small systems. If you don't have an air conditioner, you just have a fridge and a max fan and lights and a laptop, then a DC charger will help you out significantly. But if you're trying to run an air conditioner, that DC charger isn't going to do much for you unless, you're driving 3, 4, 5 hours down the road, which I usually don't do. Grass Soft says basically you're doing a live stream about what I asked you a few months ago. Yeah, I honestly don't remember, but I hope it helps. If you have an additional question, shout it out in the chat. I'd be happy to help you out where I can. Mountains for Me says what to protect the panels from hail. Nothing. Um, I have seen hailstorms in Texas that destroy solar panels. I have never been in a hailstorm that destroys solar panels. I've been in some heavy rain, and I have been in hailstorms, but I've never been in one to destroy solar panels. There's nothing you can do about it unless you had some kind of covering you were going to put on during a hailstorm, but realistically, that's just not going to be the case. You just got to hope for the best. Or if there's a hailstorm coming, try to park under covered parking. Try to pull under a gas station, right? Like, how gas stations have those awnings? Pull under a gas station if you can and wait out the hailstorm. Usually they don't last that long. Diana, bringing in the facts. Someone told me RVs and commercial trucks are not going to be allowed in 5 states in 2025. I saw that come up. Yeah, that's a sad thing. I don't know if it's going to happen. But California proposed that they want to ban motorhome sales and registration. It's all this green, you know, climate change agenda stuff. And I think it's silly because when you live in a vehicle, I believe when you live in a vehicle, you are creating less emissions and greenhouse gas and stuff than you would if you were in a sticks and bricks house or an apartment. And here's why. When you live in a vehicle, you do drive a little more. You're going to use a little more gas. But when you don't live in a house, you're not receiving mail every day. You're not mowing the lawn. You don't have lawn care. You don't have delivery drivers coming to your house. You don't have a trash service. There's not a trash truck that's stopping at your house to pick up trash. Like, there's a whole cascade of this minimalistic lifestyle. It cascades, and the reality is I really believe if you live like this, your footprint is much smaller and it's actually better for the environment. I think this is all about control. I don't think government wants people traveling. I think they just want you living in your apartment, going to work and going home and watching TV. That's all they want you to do. They don't want you traveling. They don't want you to have freedom to leave the state. They want you locked down. And I think that's what this is about. California is like ground zero for all the crazy rules that try to limit your freedoms. So I am not surprised about it. I hope it doesn't happen. It would be a huge disaster for the motorhome industry, all the not just motorhome sales, but service. I mean, that would be a huge hit to the economy. So I really hope it doesn't go through. But yeah, there's other states. So basically, California is trying to ban it based on emissions rules, and it's going to cover gasoline and diesel. And then allegedly, if it works out, they also are going to expand it to other states, including Oregon, Washington, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we'll see when Trump takes office if he, allows that to continue or if he backs it up. It's definitely something that I'm not excited about, and that could really affect, this lifestyle. Now, no matter what, I feel like there's always going to be a state that allows you to register a motorhome. I mean, our Arizona is economy is so much heavily based on RV travel. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine them banning RVs. I think the only way that would happen is if there was a federal, some kind of a federal ban. But I know that that's the way we're heading. And so one thing that I really appreciate about the box truck life, about this box truck and the next one that I'm building is, these aren't just weekend vans like sprinters and transits. These are fully functional homes on wheels. My next one will have a shower in it. So if they really do pull some trickery like that, then I guess what Nomad Brad would do is I would just buy some land off grid and I'll just live in my box truck off grid and do a little homestead. So, no matter what, I still have my house with me and I'm not really too concerned about it. But it's definitely unfortunate and I hope it doesn't go through because that'll impact a lot of people. All right, let me head back to the chats. Yeah, got reactions. Sir on Dave on that box truck that I just showed you, he has a 24-volt air conditioner mounted under his box truck. So they're available. It's like this. So you can get these units and they come in 24 volts, which is what you want. You don't want to try to run 4-aught cable for a 12-volt air conditioner. So get a 24-volt version. But Dave has his outdoor unit mounted underneath his box truck, and then this is the indoor unit down here, and that mounts inside. Now, I will warn you, it's not as efficient as the one I have, and it doesn't do as good of a job cooling because physically it's a lot smaller. So air conditioners, the whole thing they're doing is they're using basically a huge radiator to eliminate the heat from the air in your home, just like a car radiator. So if you visualize, the bigger a radiator is, the more surface area it has, the more heat it can get rid of. So when you have a smaller radiator, you can only get rid of so much heat. My mini split has a huge radiator. It gets rid of heat easily. This unit is not as good. And I think that's why Sir on Dave's unit struggles when it's hot out. He told me he's had trouble before keeping it cool when it's over 100 degrees outside. He basically has to have it on high constantly all day and it never shuts off. So it just depends, something to think about. It depends where you're going to travel. If you're not going to be in super hot weather all the time, then you could get one of these. Rhymes with orange, are they actually selling? I have no idea. No idea. We'll find out. I'll let you know when I list mine. Journey with Nicole, did not get a new truck yet. I'm planning to sell mine first. I want to list it for sale very soon. And so I'm hoping to sell this one first. If not, and I continue to save up money, I might just buy a new truck and start converting it because truck prices are very, very low. And so I could actually potentially just buy one for cash. Josh says, I'd be interested in buying your rig. Do you have a posting contact info? Look at that. We might have a buyer in the chat. Yeah, Josh, I'm telling you, man, 45 grand for this rig is a hell of a deal. It's a hell of a deal. So, yeah, you can email me, nomadbrad503@gmail.com. The price is $45,000. When I list it online, I'm going to list it for $50 because people always want a deal, right? They always want to offer you less. If I ask 45, it's a psychological thing. So I'm going to list it for 50, but I'm letting all you guys know I'm happy to let it go for 45. So I will post it once it's for sale. I will list it on Vanlife Trader. Also, it will be listed for sale on my YouTube channel. I'm going to do a big van tour, and my van tours get hundreds of thousands of views. So I'm expecting when I list this truck for sale, it's going to get hundreds of thousands of views. And I think it's going to sell pretty quick. F&A Van Life in the chat! Frankie and Alex coming to us from across the pond. Over in the UK? What's up? I think they're in like Scotland or Britain or they're somewhere. They're over there. Chris B, will you sell this and buy one immediately? Oh, let me answer F and A's question really quick. By the way, Frankie and Alex, two of the nicest, most genuine van life people I've ever met. Just good people, genuine. I already said that. Double genuine. Yeah, and their content's good. Go give them a follow on YouTube, F&A Van Life. I love to see what they're up to. How many watts of solar do you recommend for a system that's utilizing a mini split? F&A, I recommend a minimum, bare minimum, 800 watts of solar. You can do that on most vehicles if you plan for it. Like you can get 800 watts on a ProMaster if you have the extended wheelbase and you only have solar panels, no max fan. But honestly, guys, I mean, you have a big family, so I assume you're going to get something a little bit larger. I would recommend, like, I have 1200 watts and that's super comfortable. So I would say 1200 watts is more of a realistic number. And keep in mind, guys, you can get solar panels, like big ass 400-watt solar panels, for $100 a piece. It's not expensive to put a lot of solar on the roof. Let me show you guys. We'll go to Facebook. We'll pull up Marketplace. Oops. Marketplace. Solar panels. And the other thing too is if you guys need solar panels, buy them before the tariffs kick in because prices are going to go up. But there's people all over Facebook Marketplace selling new panels. These are new panels, selling them super cheap. So here's some, for example. Let's pull these up. So what happens is installers and wholesalers get overstock and they'll have like 10 or 20 panels left over, and it's not enough to sell like for the big commercial and residential jobs. So they close them out on Facebook Marketplace. Look at that. The prices are actually already going up. But so like right here, you can get a 545 watt solar panel for $190. Here's a 400 watt panel for 165 bucks. Here's a 365 watt panel for 125 bucks. So prices are going up. These panels were much cheaper 3 months ago. I think they've raised their prices knowing that tariffs are coming in. But there's still deals to be had. Here are 370 watt panels for 125 bucks a piece. I have 320s on my roof, and I bought them 2 years ago in Texas for $95 a piece. So you can get brand new panels on Marketplace for very, very reasonable. And if you're trying to hit 800, 1200 watts of solar, you're better off going with 3 or 4 big panels like this rather than having to get, 6 or 8 little 200 watt panels. So that would be my advice for you guys, F&A. Get them on Marketplace. There's good deals out there, but yeah, get them while you can. By the end of the year, the prices might go up even more for tariffs. Let me hop back to the chat. Yeah, Josh, email me if you want. nomadbrad503 at gmail 503 at gmail.com. I know this van's gonna sell quick. Oh, what I was going to tell you guys is my plans for transitioning into a new vehicle. So this is my 4th vehicle. The next build is going to be number 5, a cargo van, a shuttle bus, 2 box trucks, about to be 3 box trucks. Every vehicle that I've owned, I have always sold one vehicle, immediately bought the next vehicle, and started living in it day one. So all of them. And so this build out is going to be no different. So here's my plan. As soon as this box truck sells, I'm going to rent a U-Haul, not a box truck, but like a U-Haul cargo van, like a transit, because you can pass through from the cab to the cargo area. And I'm gonna sleep in that, and I'm gonna drive over to California and buy a box truck. So I'll rent a U-Haul one way, throw a quick makeshift bed in the back, and then head over to Los Angeles and buy my next box truck. So I should be able to have the whole thing done within a few days. It's going to be an interesting time though, going from all this space and modern convenience, going down to literally bare bones with nothing in it. So I'll be living off my EcoFlow power station for probably a couple of weeks. Got reactions. Do you turn your inverter on as needed? So mine, I leave it on all the time. Depending what inverter you have, some of them come with a remote switch with an on-off button, but I have the all-in-one hybrid inverter charger, and so the inverter and the solar charger and everything is all combined, so I don't really turn it off. You can turn off the inverter directly, but it's not convenient. And honestly, when you have as much like power as I do, like the solar power, you really don't need to turn it off. The only time you turn an inverter off is to conserve energy on a smaller system. But like for me, I have multiple things that run off the 110, like my vent hood and my some of my lighting. So it just makes sense to leave it on all the time. Diana Saylor in the chat asking how I get companies that sponsor me. It all comes through my YouTube. Companies reach out through my YouTube based on my channel size or my viewer demographics, and then they just email me, ask me if I want to promote a product. Ellie, Jesse, I'm in Houston. AC is essential. Yeah. Yeah, and you have a dog. Ellie, if you're in Houston, you absolutely need to have like 1200 watts of solar minimum and a mini split. And I would do like 8,000 or 8 kilowatts of battery. You don't want to go small because the worst thing that can happen to you is you get a cloudy day, because especially in Texas, I lived in Texas for a year in this van. When you get cloudy days, it's still hot and humid. And so you can have days where it's cloudy and hot and humid and you don't have enough power to recharge your battery bank. So it's very important that you do not undersize your system. You want to be comfortable. Dan TV asks if I'm in a van. Absolutely, I'm in a van. I'm in my van. I'm in my box truck. This is my home, baby. This is where I live. Ninja Booty Kitty. My dream is for Brad to convert a shuttle for me. I had a shuttle bus. I enjoyed it a lot. You know, honestly, you can convert your own shuttle bus because they're pretty easy. The windows and doors already installed. You can put in a regular bed frame. You can put in a regular sink cabinet from Home Depot. It doesn't take much. I'll do the electrical for you. I'll do the solar, but you can do 90% of the conversion yourself. Donald Frazier says the RV industry will fall. They're trying to push electric. I agree with you. I'm hoping, not to talk about politics, but I'm hoping the new president will reverse some of that electric stuff, and go back to gas. Yeah, RVs are a ripoff. The problem with RVs is, first of all, they're really expensive. Second of all, the quality sucks. If they were good quality, I'd have no problem with them. But you can go on YouTube and look at RV horror stories from brand new RVs, $100,000 RVs, $200,000 RVs that have all kinds of problems out of the factory. Because at the end of the day, the sad thing is the people that are building your $200,000 RV are often only getting paid $15 an hour. And they're not and so they're just overworked, underpaid, and they don't care. They're just on an assembly line trying to get it done, and the quality and oversight is just not there. And it's the whole business structure of like, get all the profits, suck them up to the top, pay the CEO millions of dollars, and the worker that's actually doing the work, pay him pennies. And then when the quality is crap, you just blame it on cheap Chinese parts. But a lot of times it's just the poor workers are not really compensated to do a good job. Got reactions, makes you think, if expensive luxury RV are not 3K used for homeless home, what does that say about us? Market flooded. Yeah, I mean, they could definitely be using the RVs for homeless. 100%. Sir on Dave, 350. Yeah, bro, prices are dropping. Sir on Dave in the house. Happy to see you here, Sir on Dave. That's my business partner. He's helping me out with nomadics.biz. If you guys send in emails or need help with your order, any kind of online stuff, there's a pretty good chance Sir on Dave might be helping you out from his box truck. Got the box truck team going. Box truck business. We got a box truck business. I'm excited about it. Dave says on his air conditioner, the undermount one, it has issues when it's 90 plus degrees from 9 a.m. to 9 or 10 p.m. like in Vegas. So yeah, that's the thing. Those smaller units just unfortunately aren't quite as high of a capacity. F&A, you got it. You're welcome. I hope that helps out. I'm always here to help you guys out. If you have any questions, you want to find any deals, let me know. Nomad Brad's always sniffing out the deals. I'm always trying to put stuff together on a budget. Got reactions. Subscribe to F&A Vanlife. I'm happy to hear that. They're so nice. Frankie and Alex, wonderful folk. And they have a kid now. Everly. I think their kid's name is Everly, little daughter. Very nice. I hope their business survived the hurricane. They have a berry. They have like a smoothie bowl, acai bowl company called Raining Berries, and I think it's in St. Pete, Florida. Hope it held up. Noah Cashmere says, why are you buying in LA? There's a lot of vehicles for sale in Los Angeles, and because of the California emissions law, any diesel truck that's like 2010 or older is not legal to be registered in California because it does not have DEF, and I want a diesel that does not have DEF. So I'm purposely buying a rig in California without DEF, which cannot be registered there. So the vehicles are really cheap there because the only people buying them are people coming in from out of state. And it's a 20-year-old diesel rig, so it's just not a big market for it. So there's very, very good deals in California for diesel box trucks. Mountains for Me says, your van is definitely worth it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I believe that it is. Donald Frazier coming to you live from his box truck. Absolutely. Got reactions. I would get a shuttle if they were more stealth. I agree. Shuttles are not very stealthy. Also, the problem with shuttles is they have so many windows. They have so much glass that if you're trying to heat in the winter, you lose all your heat through the glass. And in the summer, if you're trying to cool down, you gain so much heat. I don't even know if it would be possible to properly cool a shuttle bus in a hot place with all the glass windows. I think it would just be too hot. That's one reason my box truck does so well also is it's very, very well insulated. One thing about Sir on Dave's box truck, he does not, the roll-up door is not insulated. It's still functional. So he's got air gaps around the roll-up door. So in all fairness, the air conditioner would probably perform better if he had his rear door sealed off. So if that helps you out, the gentleman that was asking, I think it was Got Reactions, whoever was asking about the under-mounted air conditioners, if you insulate your box truck very well, it'll help you out. Weston Evans, any regrets on your build? No regrets. I love this build. I'm so happy with it. It's such a nice build. I really don't have any regrets. It's really nice. Honestly, the only reason I'm selling it is because I need a bigger one. And the only reason I need a bigger one is because I started this damn website with Sir on Dave. So I have to be able to basically store a lot of parts that I can build and ship out to you guys. And also, I just need more inventory for my in-person installs. So if I didn't have all this like in-person stuff going on, I would probably keep this truck. I love it. It's so cozy, especially since I added the TV. I was watching the TV the other night. It's so stinking nice. You got the 42-inch widescreen. Gosh, it's not, I mean, I'm not going to regret selling this rig, but I'm going to miss it. It's a nice rig. It really is. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see what we got. I was going to try to switch back to my iPhone camera, but I think we're timed out on this. Ooh, there we go. All right, let me hop back in the chat. See what's going on. Sorry, guys, the chat screen, when my computer dropped out earlier, the chat on my streaming software froze, and I don't know how to reboot it. So I'm just doing the iPhone chat. iPhone chat. Weston Evans, you ever meet those 4x4 sprinter people who spent 200K and look in your van with envious eyes and probably thinking, wow, I overpaid? Yeah, Weston Evans. Yeah, I meet them a lot. And you know what's funny is I went and I bid a job the other day for this couple that has a ProMaster conversion, and it's like a factory one. It's like a Winnebago. I think called the Solus, but it's tiny. It's a tiny little Class B, and it's the same thing inside. You have like one little hallway and a bench, and that's it. There's no room. And he talked about, like, it was like $120,000, and I'm just looking at it like, what are you getting for 120 grand? Like, it sucks. And that one didn't even have a shower in it. It was just a bed with a kitchenette and one chair. Absolute dreadful. So yeah, a lot of people. Although the 4x4 sprinter people, a lot of those folks, it's like they don't really use them that much. It's just like people buy them for like status, or like they're gonna go out and occasionally ride mountain bikes in Moab on the weekend. But most of those people that buy $200,000 and $300,000 sprinters, they have jobs and homes and all kinds of other stuff going on. It's just a weekend gig. But anyone that's actually living in their vehicle, they understand what I got going on here. When they step inside, they're like, oh damn, this is what's up. Josh Rowley, Box Truck Boys, you got it, man. The Vagabond on Wheels, just dropping in, Brad. Found your channel and have been enjoying your content. Thank you. I appreciate you. F&A Vanlife, didn't think to look at Facebook Marketplace for solar. Yeah, absolutely. Just tapped into a whole new game for the RV in Canada. Happy to hear about it. Happy to hear about it, man. Yeah, solar panels are really easy to find on Marketplace. Brand new from the manufacturer in a warehouse. Legitimate, not used. Got reactions. Do you happen to remember the video title that features Dave's truck? Oh, man, that's a good question. So I did a live stream from San Diego this summer, and Suron Dave, was kind enough to do a box truck tour. Let me see if I can find it. So if I go to YouTube and I go to content and I go to live, let's see. We're at the beach. Box truck tours at the beach. It might be this one. Let's see if it's this one. Let's see if it's this one. Box truck. Let's see if this is surround. Yeah, this is it. Look at that. The universe provides. So for anybody that's curious, this is Suron Dave. I can't drop a link in the chat. My chat's all jacked up. But if you go to, I think you guys saw how I got there. If you go to my live stream and you click on, or you go to my channel and click on content and click on videos and click on live stream, it's the video titled Box Truck Tours at the Beach. And this is the man, Suron Dave, the partner here on Nomadics. And here's a shot of his air conditioner. See that? No lies here, folks. That's it, mounted right up underneath his van. And one thing I'll mention is it was super clean. I was impressed to see how clean it is. I asked him if he cleaned it. He said he's never washed it. It just stays really clean down there. So you can see here, that's the lines from the AC running down from inside the rig. Depending how you mount your AC, you could also run the lines on the inside. But that's that. And then We'll kind of go down a little bit. That's me talking about the lines. And then we'll drop down and see the actual outdoor unit mounted up underneath his box truck. Ooh, look, there's a little boo-boo. Boo-boo. Come on, Brad, show me the goods. We want to see the AC. There it is. See that? Mounted right up underneath. That's the AC. There it is. Answer and you shall receive, got reactions. I appreciate you for bringing that up. Chris B, 400 watt panels for 100. I'm telling you guys, Facebook Marketplace for solar panels. I have a whole video on it, but you guys don't really need to watch a video. Just look for solar panels on Marketplace. F&A Vanlife says St. Pete did hold up well. We're able to help the community. Awesome. So F&A's store, Raining Berries, it survived the hurricane. I assumed it would. It was like in a big commercial building. It looks like it's made out of brick. So fortunately, they did not get flooded. Ellie, Jesse, Brad, a webinar on solar and how to hook up everything would be useful, just saying. Yeah, I agree, Ellie, Jesse. So once all the Nomadix website products are built out, I'm going to be doing all kinds of content that shows you guys how to install the products, how they operate, how they work together, what you guys need. There will be tons and tons of content coming out to help you guys. In the meantime, if you do need help, if you need help before I get to releasing my content, feel free to reach out and I will help you guys. Weston Evans, how much is the box truck, sir? The box truck is $45,000. $45,000, sir. As it sits, everything is included. Everything except my cooking utensils and my electrical tools. I think it's a very fair price. If you were going to have this thing built out, it would cost, like if you were going to hire someone to do it, it would cost you $100,000 easily for all the labor. I did a breakdown of the price, but the rig, I bought the rig for 12 grand with 120,000 miles. It now has 137,000, which is still low for these rigs. I see them all the time on Marketplace with like over 200,000 miles. I paid 12 for the rig. I put about 5 grand into repairs. I did so many repairs on this. All the suspension components, bushings. I got the transmission parking brake fixed, new bearings, new brakes, front and rear pads, new rotors, new hub seals, all kinds of stuff. New starter, new alternator, new battery, radiator flush, new serpentine belt, new coolant, new thermostat, new coolant temperature sensor. So many things I've done to this rig. It's really, really a good rig. Plus, that's just on the vehicle, right? Not even to mention the build out itself. Now, you guys have watched the videos. You know how dope this rig is. What's really cool, what I really like is just the can you guys hear me? Am I okay? What I really like is just the idea that you guys can have a house, a mobile tiny house for 45 grand. And it travels. You can drive it wherever you want to live. It's affordable, and it's like, it's so exciting to just live this lifestyle and be able to move and kind of camp wherever you want. It's a game changer. There's just so much freedom. Let me hop back to the chat. Let me hop back to the chat. Hit the thumbs up. RVing with G in the house. What's up, brother? Happy to see you here. Welcome back, G. Did you work on the big truck solar? You talking about Zach's rig? I did some electrical indoors. I did not do the solar on the roof. Zach hired Mark to do the general building, and they had so much like free help and stuff that they didn't need me to do the solar. So I actually didn't do too much on Zach's truck, which is totally cool. He had plenty of help with it. Um, John C, I'm living it up in St. John. Have a great one. I'll catch you next week. All right, John, I'll see you next week, brother. Thanks for stopping by. RVing with G. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. I'm reading the chat. Guys, I'm reading the chat from that live stream that I just put up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Nomad Brad. I feel like an old man. I feel like a damn old man. Let me let me go back. I think I can do the chat on here. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this. Oops. Okay, here we go. All right, let me look. Oh, also the suspension is something else I did on this box truck. I had all the shocks replaced, all the bushings, and I have new leaf springs in the rear. It drives so much better. Before I did the leaf springs, it was squeaky and bumpy, and now it rides really smooth. Keep in mind, it is still a big, heavy truck. I mean, it doesn't drive like a car, but it drives really, really nice. Really nice. So that was something else I did too. I gotta really sit down and think about all the stuff I've done to this. Okay, let me get back to the chat. John, are you always based in the box truck? Do you ever travel? I want to get back to van life, trying to figure out where to keep it while I'm out of the country. Josh, yeah, I always live in this box truck. I do want to do some international travel. And so what's cool about these rigs is you can what you can do is you guys can rent a parking space at a self store, like a U store, like a U store it or a stack storage or a store up, the big like uh, storage facilities. You can just rent a parking space and you can park it there, and it's pretty reasonable. They'll charge you, like, depending on the size, it's like 50 to $100 a month. And so you can park it there. It's fenced off. There's security cameras. It's pretty safe. So that's what I would do with this rig if I was traveling, is I would take it to a self-storage place that has a parking lot. And actually, Zach Zoller, he has his shuttle bus in one right now in San Diego, because they're both in his new box truck traveling down to Arizona. They left it in San Diego a couple months ago. John C says Sir on Dave is a legend. I agree with that. Check out the video if you want to see Sir on Dave in person. Take a look at his rig. Get a feel for the space. See what you guys think about it. Donald Frazier just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. I love that song. That's a good song. All right, Donald, peace out. I'll see you next time, buddy. Take it easy. Let's see. Is there anything to prevent mice from getting into the engine? Nope, nothing. I've never had trouble with it. I know people have in the past, but in all my 7 years of van lifing, I've never had any mice in the engine bay. I've One time I had a mouse get in my shuttle bus. That's it. I was up in Oregon, and I left some food out, and I think the mouse found the food and then came in the bus. Ace FNA Van Life. That is the link to the video of Sir on Dave's AC unit. Did somebody? Oh, okay. Yeah. Looks like King Gamer dropped a link in the chat if you guys want to take a look at that AC unit. Yep, Jay Stewart, thank you. I did update the rear suspension. New leaf springs. Very, very nice, smooth ride. Sir on Dave, I've done both rear wheel bearings. Other than that, just typical maintenance. Ellie Jesse likes that the kettle matches. I appreciate you. I did that on purpose. I also, so that kettle is a French brand. It's called like Le Creuset. Le Creuset. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I also have the skillet that matches it. So, you know, I wanted to put some color up in here. Get it popping. All right, I'm going to call it quits here in a minute, guys. I'm hungry and I want to go eat that pot roast. So if you guys have any last minute questions, drop them in the chat. And then I'm going to wrap it up here in maybe 15, 20 minutes. And I will tell you guys, as far as repairs go, on the last box truck I owned, same rig as this, same size, V10 engine. I bought it with 120,000 miles, same as this one. And when I sold it, it had 146,000 miles. So I put 26,000 miles on it in 2 years. And that rig, I did almost zero maintenance to. Like, almost nothing. Compared to this rig, on that rig, I only spent one time. I took it to a mechanic and spent $2,000 on some preventative maintenance. I had like the plugs changed, I think, and a belt. But that was it. I didn't do shit to it. And it drove awesome. Didn't have any issues. This vehicle has been a little more challenging, but I've been on top of getting it all taken care of. FNA Vanlife says, I love having a very open space. It makes living on the road that much easier. I agree with you, FNA. This is only a 12-foot long and 7.5 feet wide, but I do have 7-foot ceilings. But I'm selling this rig, and I'm going to do another build, and that build is going to be 16 feet long and 8-foot ceilings. So we're talking about regular house-size ceilings and almost twice the living space. Well, 50% more living space. So I am very, very excited for the next build out. It's going to be big and roomy, just like this. I'm doing an elevator bed with a large like hangout couch underneath. It's going to be awesome. If you guys like this, definitely watch for that build. If you're looking at doing something with the family, I think that'd be a good choice. Box trucks are so cheap right now. FNA, I don't know what they are in Canada, but I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. The prices are absolutely nuts. Let's see. It might have sold. I don't see it here. Oh, wait, recent activity. Oh, saved. Here we go. I was in the wrong tab. Is it still for sale? Man, a lot of rigs are selling, guys. A lot of rigs are selling. I don't see it on here. It must have been removed or something. Anyway, here's an example. This is the rig I was looking at, basically. This one's a little bit rougher condition, though. But 16-foot box truck. This one, it only has 124,000 miles. Oh, hold on. You can't see this. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. A 16-foot Isuzu NPR. This is a Chevy version, but it's similar. 2006, only 124,000 miles. $7,000. And you get 16-foot box, 8-foot ceilings, 7.5 feet wide. And the nice thing about these NPRs is the cab chassis is so short that this vehicle bumper to bumper is only 23 feet, which is only 2 feet longer than the vehicle I'm currently living in. So it's still really short. You can park it almost anywhere, but you get a ton of living space. So that's the type of rig I'm going to be looking to purchase as soon as I sell this rig. And yeah, the prices are just really, really good on this stuff. So if you guys are looking for a rig, I don't know what your situation is, but if you're looking for a rig, they got them for sale, baby. There's a lot of deals to be had right now. All right, let me do. Let's see. Okay, let me hop back in, see if there's any questions, and then if not, I'm gonna head out and eat my delicious roast because I can still smell it. Okay, what do we got? Zane Johnston says you got to get that. We got to get that new rig built out so you can get back on the road. I agree with you, Zane. I would love to visit Oregon again. I'll definitely visit in the next rig, 100%. Vanlife DJ. I'm solo right now. Everybody else is spread out. Dave is in Cali. King's in Cali. Zach. I think Zach and Mark might be back in Arizona now, but yeah, we're all by ourselves. That's part of van life. You come together and then you go your own ways. But we'll be rounding back up again here in Arizona. Good night, FNA. Happy to have you here. I would love to see you guys on the road. I miss you. And I don't know how after being a nomad, I don't know how you can go back to sticks and bricks. I'm sure it's calling your name, the adventure, and just different places. So, yeah, I'm sure the road is calling. I'd love to see you out here. Good night, John. Happy to have you here. See you next time, brother. Chris B. For a beginner build, would it be simplest to get some solar and a blue eddy? It just depends, Chris B. What you want to do, what your goals are. Because, like for example, on a power station, you can't run big 12-volt devices. You can't run an air conditioner, a 12-volt air conditioner on a power station. Depending what 12-volt fridge you have, it might be too much for a power station. Power stations are mostly designed for 120-volt appliances. They have USBs for like smartphones and stuff, but if you look at the rating on the 12-volt side of things, it's not very high because power stations are not 12-volt batteries. They're like 48-volt batteries. They just use step-down transformers for the USB ports. So you're limited on a power station. Also, if you have to buy their expansion batteries, it's going to cost you a lot more money. So if you're doing a full build, I would say, and a power station is going to ultimately cost you more. By the time you buy a power station and their expansion batteries, if you're going to do a full conversion, I would do a regular electrical, a DIY, and I can help you out. I can just send you the cables. All you have to do is just screw it to the wall and plug it in. It's super simple. But I always recommend to do a full custom build. You can change stuff out if you need to. If one component breaks, you can replace it. If your power station goes out, you lose all your electrical. And then you have a broken power station and you have to ship it in for warranty or buy a whole new power station. So, in theory, they're nice and it's cool because it's easy to just buy one and plug it in, but there's a lot of limitations and it depends what you're going to put into your conversion. But if you're doing a super simple build, if you just want a refrigerator and charge a smartphone, then a power station is fine. John C asking about an IKEA pressed wood closet. Yeah, absolutely, John. I think the key is you would just want to reinforce it. And so when I get, in fact, my next box truck, I'm already looking at cabinets on Amazon. I'll show you guys really quick since we're chatting here. Um, I think I'm going to just buy cabinets on Amazon and then modify them and install them in the box truck. Okay, hold on. Let me switch over views. Okay. So you can get all this stuff, like a little end table with drawers. They have like overhead cabinets. They have, there were some, these are like regular cabinets with like the drawers that slide out. They had some stuff I was looking at earlier that looked pretty cool. They have like these full height wall storage cabinets, but I think I'm just going to buy stuff on Amazon and try to find things that are the proper dimensions because it's so much easier. Like if you can just buy prefab stuff, I could buy, you could buy a prefab cabinet for 300 bucks and spend half an hour reinforcing it with 20 bucks worth of glue and wood, and it's going to be just as good as anything that I custom build. But then it's like I don't have to paint it. I don't have to worry about all the cutting and the fine finish carpentry, all that kind of stuff. They even have some cool, like, look at this. This is a stainless outdoor kitchen set. Look at that. That's got 3 nice big stainless steel drawers and then a big stainless steel access door. Look at this. I might do this. Look at that. You can get stainless drawers in different configurations. This stuff's a little more pricey. Not bad though. 175. 175 for this 3-drawer slide out. So I'm really thinking on this next box truck build, I'm going to see what I can do to make it like super simple. Because at the same time, I also want to help you guys figure out how to make this lifestyle possible. I really want to help out because I realize not everybody has the skills or the desire to custom build all this crap by hand like I did. And so I'm trying to figure out, what can we do to make this really achievable for like the everyday person? And so in my mind, anybody can install insulation on the wall. Anybody can throw up some sheets of panel board to make it look nice. And then if you can just order cabinets on Amazon, build them and then slide them in place, and then order some electrical components from nomadics.biz and connect those up. And the next thing you know, you have a tiny home on wheels with very little effort that anybody can do. That's kind of my dream, just to make this super affordable and simple. So I'm going to really explore some new options on this next build and try to see what I can come up with and make some good videos out of it and hopefully pass that on and see more of you folks on the road. Just checking the chat. Yeah, Chris B. Yeah, you're right, Chris B. The 12 volt is super limited on the power stations. I'm telling you, dude, I'm going to do all the electrical work for you. I'm just going to send you components in the mail. You don't have to be chicken. I'll help you design the system. I'll mail you all the parts like this. All you have to do is screw this to the wall and plug it in. This is what I'm talking about. It's super easy. You can do this. So yeah, man, I'll help you build out your electrical system, and we'll make something that's way more affordable, way better quality, way higher capacity, and infinitely repairable and upgradable. So I'll help you make something that's super awesome that will meet your needs. You guys don't have to do any cutting or crimping or any of that yourself. All right, guys, that's it for the questions. Someone asked about dinner. I'm going to show you guys again for those that didn't come early to the chat tonight. I'm going to show you guys what's for dinner. I made a roast in the Instant Pot. I braised the roast, dropped it in the pot. I added cooked carrots, onion, and sweet potato. I cooked it on high for 60 minutes. I did a whole roast in 60 minutes. Take a look at this. Oh my goodness. Did you see how that flaked apart? It's so good. Oh my goodness. And those seasonings, that seasoning packet I added from Texas, the mystery seasoning packet, absolutely delicious. That's it for me, guys. I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. As always, I will see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. I have new regular filmed videos that go live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And so I hope to see you guys next time. If you have any questions about the van, you want to buy the van, you have questions about the website, you want help with electrical, whatever you need, nomadbrad503@gmail.com. I will help you out. Reach out to me. I will see you guys next time. Nomad Brad signing out. Peace.